It is Vlogmas, is Vlogmas, is Vlogmas. Vlogmas, is Vlogmas, is Vlogmas. It is Vlogmas, is Vlogmas, is Vlogmas. Welcome back to the life of a Navy wife where we upload every day. Okay. Hey girl, welcome back to my channel, The Life of a Navy Wife, or if you're new here, welcome to my channel. Hey, if you are a few videos into my channel right now, or if it's your first time, please press the subscribe button. It really helps my channel. It tells YouTube that my videos are actually helping people, and that's what I want, is for my videos to help people. So please subscribe if you can, and it would mean so much to me, and let me know if you do subscribe. With that being said, let's get right into the video. So sis, I'm gonna need you to pause this video, go get some paper, at least a few pieces of paper that you can write all over, at least 8.5 by 11. Get you a pencil because you're gonna be doing a lot of erasing, and then get you some snacks or dinner. Get you a nice little drink, girl, a little sip, because this video is about to be really long, because I'm gonna be teaching you, as the title suggests, Navy lingo that I have experienced for the past 4 years and that you will probably be experiencing too. So with that being said, let's go. Okay, so quick disclaimer, I have on my little necklace and my hat and my Christmas tree in the background because it is Vlogmas Day 5 and I wanted to feel Christmassy. I didn't want it to just be a basic sit down, so that's why I have it. I was gonna do my tree during the video, but I recorded like a few minutes and I could not focus on my list of stuff I came up with. So long story short, I'm just gonna be like putting my hand like right here for like words and charts and stuff and this and there. So this is what this space is for. Okay, let's start. So I'm gonna go from like the most basic stuff to the most complicated stuff. So be ready, sis. This is about to be a whole class right here. So number one, the first term that everyone should know is MILSO. M-I-L-S-O. What's a MILSO? A MILSO is a military significant other. If you are a wife watching this, or a military wife, a Navy wife, an Air Force wife, a boyfriend, a husband, if you are in the military and you have like a wife, husband, this, that, and the third, then you are a MILSO. So that is M-I-L-S-O, MILSO. Or sometimes people shorten it to just S-O, which is significant other. Moving on to number two, SEMEN. Now get your dirty mind out of here, not that kind of semen, okay? S-E-A-M-A-N, semen. A semen is, it's like the lowest rank. If I'm being honest, it's the lowest rank. So a semen is like, there's different types of semens, but semen's usually E1 to E3. What's E? E is for enlisted. Enlisted means that your significant other, or hey, if you're a parent watching this or something, an enlisted individual is someone who went to the recruiting office and got like recruited into the military. Usually they don't have like a college degree, which is why some people are called officers, which is O, they get the O terms. And so remember that. E terms means like recruiting. Let's think of it, basically it means recruiting. And then O means officer, and they probably have a college degree of some sort. So yes, that's that. So remember, seaman, E1 to E3. Number 6, USN, US Navy. Number 7, BAH. What's BAH? Basic allowance for housing. Now I know a lot of y'all probably heard of this. It's where the military gives your servicemen a stipend, a living stipend for the month for like living expenses and stuff, and usually that comes through on their paycheck. It is non-taxable, and I will post a chart right here of the different amounts on what the military gives for the Navy. So depending on your rank, so say you're E1, you probably get the lowest amount of BAH if you do get BAH, or if you're E6, you probably get way more, or you do get way more based on your rank. So there's that. Also, BAH varies from state to state. Let me mention that. It is not the same state to state. So if I did put a chart up there, I'm so sorry. It's probably for one state only or a few states, but it does change from state to state. It's usually accessible on Google, so definitely use Google to your advantage for this if you're wondering how much money you would get for your hubby being in the military. You cannot get BAH if you live on base or on the ship. Number 8, BAS, basic allowance for subsistence. It just basically means they give the military money for food. So for example, if your husband is on a ship and he's on deployment, for example, usually they just take the BAS out of their paycheck, since they have to eat on the boat. Like they have to get breakfast, lunch, and dinner on the boat because you're in the middle of nowhere. But if not, sometimes depending on the circumstances of the boat, like the boat's kitchen, we'll get to that word later, the boat's kitchen, then it will just go to your husband's paycheck, but it really depends. But that's you can also get BAS when you live like on base, so we'll get to that word later too. So let's move on. Number 9, detachment. So a detachment is sort of like a mini deployment, I like to call it. Imagine your hubby going out to sea for like a few days or a few weeks. Usually it's very, very short. It's usually with smaller groups like squadrons and stuff. If you don't know what a squadron is, a squadron's like a small little group. If you hear him say the word squadron, it is a really weird word, so I promise you if you do hear it, you will remember it. They will most likely go on little detachments where they go to different ports and stuff and, you know, do their thing. So that's that, detachment. Number 10, deployment. Now, we all heard this word before. If you haven't, sis, welcome to the military. So a deployment, you probably won't be able to talk to your husband as much. For detachments, let me go back one step to number 8. For detachments, number 9, you will most likely be able to talk to your hubby or your boyfriend or whatever, because for detachments, they stand in a hotel sometimes. Sometimes they stay in a hotel, sometimes they don't. Can't even put a time limit on it, because your deployment can be 1 month if it's like if your boat breaks or something and they have to come back home or something. It could be 1 month, it could be like 8 or 9 months. But I know there is a rule that my husband told me that like they can't be out to sea for like a certain number of months. Like after a certain point of time, they can't, due to like medical reasons. Like people start, you know, they start like not being right in the head apparently. So a deployment, you probably won't be able to talk to your husband as much. So let's move on. That's what a deployment is. It's something that we all, it's probably the scariest word on this list is deployment. So let's move on. Number 11, an underway. So an underway is very similar to a detachment, but an underway is for like the big ships and stuff, and it's where the big ships go for a few weeks out to sea. So the underways are mini deployments. You can't talk to your hubby unless, no, they don't have service because they're on the boat. And yeah, so that's an underway. Number 12, your ABCs. Okay, so there is a list, I will put it right here, of the ABCs that you will hear your husband say all the time. When he's on the phone explaining something to somebody or he's trying to spell his name out, you will definitely hear him say like Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, and everything that's after that. So know your ABCs because you will hear them. Know that your husband from now on will probably only use the military ABCs like for the rest of his life. So yeah. Number 13, so this is like not really jargon, but just know this too. You know how for us we do the month, then the day, then the year? They do it backwards. They do it the day, then the month, then the year. So instead of doing like November 10th, 2018, they would do 10th of November 2018. And that's Navy wide. I thought that my husband was crazy when he was doing it. I was like, boy, you're just doing this because you saw it one time. No, they do it all over. If you get confused by a date he sends, he probably switched the day and the month. So know that. Moving on. Number 14, LES, a leave earning statement. So a leave earning statement is like the military's version of a check stub. It's a pay stub. It shows you how much your husband earned for the month, the taxes taken out on the money, the insurance taken out, if they have any retirement funds, we'll get to that later too. Any money going to retirement, that comes out. It tells you all the money they're getting too, such as BAS, BAH, if they're getting any extra money for this, that, or the third. Now look, that thing is not hard to read, but it's long, and that's gonna be a separate video one day. But yeah, moving on. Number 15, hoo-yah. So yes, they say hoo-yah. If you hear your husband say hoo-yah, it is a military, or I think it's a Navy thing. You'll see other military wives say it all the time in the group chats, in the Facebook groups if you are in any. So yeah, moving on. Number 16, NAS. NAS is Naval Air Station. A Naval Air Station is like a base. It's just a base. It's a fancy term for a base. NS is Naval Station. NS Norfolk will be Naval Station Norfolk. The next term is MWR. MWR, we just know it as like the people who host a lot of stuff, give you good discounts. So for example, me and one of my friends were both couponers. The MWR was hosting an event where people could sell stuff. It was like a garage sale on base. And me and my friends signed up and we set up our coupon tables and we sold stuff. The MWR was in charge of that. If you're going to Disney soon and you need a good discount, contact the MWR. They will definitely be able to help you. There's so many resources at the MWR. So FRG, they help you to find a job if you're in a new area. If you're buying a house, they walk you through the steps for that. They host seminars for that kind of stuff. If you want to invest, they host seminars for that kind of stuff. They basically, think of the name, it's Family Readiness Group. So they want to make sure that you are good for life. So that's Family Readiness Group. Moving on. Number 19, commissary. Commissary is a grocery store. It is it's a grocery store. I only know 2 commissaries within the area of where I live, because there's like the one at the Norfolk base, and then there's the one by Oceana and Dam Neck. So what I like about the commissary is that you cannot get in without a military ID, so it's kind of safe. I would say it's safe because you have all military in there, and you know, they're kind of keeping track of everyone who's coming in. So you do have to have a military ID to get in. Now if you're going with your hubby and he has a military ID and you have a regular ID, that's fine. You just have to have at least an ID to identify who you are going into the store. And they also have really cheap stuff. Like some stuff is just really cheap. And yeah, so that is the commissary, the grocery store. The next thing is the Next. So the Navy Exchange, it's like a mini mall. So usually Nexus, they have a food court, they have a place where you can buy jewelry, technology. The one we have is like they don't have groceries, but they have like essentials like Tide Pods, and shoot, I even bought batteries from one time. They sell, I know at the upstairs part, they have like mattresses and appliances, and basically anything you need, they probably have it. It's like a Walmart mixed with a mall. But yeah, that is the Next. So number 21, duty. You will hear this word a whole bunch, and you probably won't even like duty. That's probably, I feel like after underway and detachment, that's probably the one that I don't like in deployment, because duty is basically where your hubby has to stay on the boat or on the base overnight. Think of it like a shift. It's like an extra shift that they have to have, and it varies. Usually, I know sometimes for some people they have to have duty every 4 days. Some people have to have it every 8 days. It just really depends on how many people work there. It depends on your command. It depends on a lot of stuff. The reason I don't like duty is because I have to sleep without my husband that night, and I just hate sleeping in bed without my hubby. So yeah, that is duty. Moving on. Number 22, watch. Watch is like, think of it like a shift within a shift. During duty, they have like a mini shift where they have to watch a specific part of the boat or the base or wherever they're at. If something happens to the boat, they want to make sure they have enough manpower in the boat in case something happens. You know, if somebody's trying to come over here and do something to us, we have enough people to save us. Sorry for the confusion here. To clarify, what I meant is that a lot of them are working a 9 to 5, not actually 9 to 5, the times vary, but after work everyone goes home, so they have watch and duty to make sure they have enough people to man the ship if anything were to happen. Number 23, galley. The term for the military's kitchen is the galley. You will not hear your husband say kitchen. You will not hear him say cafeteria. He will say galley. A galley is like, yeah, it's like their cafeteria. So yeah. Number 24, barracks. A barrack is like a barrack is like a hotel. So think of a hotel. A hotel, you have a bed, you have the part where you wash your hands and brush your teeth and stuff, and you have the toilet and the shower. That's a barrack. Sometimes there's 2 people per room, sometimes there's 1 person per room, sometimes there's suites. So it's like a college setup, I would say. Like imagine having a suite where there's like 1 room here, 1 room there, and then those 2 people share a bathroom and a toilet and a sink. It's like that, for example. Or some people have like, there's like 2 rooms, but there's like 2 twin beds per room, and then like there's probably like 1 shower, 1 toilet, and then like 2 sinks, or maybe even 1 sink. Just think of a barrack as your husband living on base. Okay, oh guys, I need to stretch my back, take a break. Number 25, time. After a few months in, he's gonna forget how to use regular time a little bit, and he's gonna be talking to you in military terms. So he'll be like 1300, or be here at 1700. 1300 will be 1 o'clock, so 1 o'clock 1300, 2 o'clock 1400, 3 o'clock 1500, and so on and so on and so on. So yeah, that's that. Number 26, operational security. So OPSEC, OPSEC. If you are in those Facebook groups, I know you've seen hella posts about OPSEC. It's sort of like a code to go by to protect the country. So for example, if your hubby is, or if your MILSO is gone for an underway, the military doesn't want you posting about that underway a few days saying, oh, they're leaving in 3 days, oh, 2 more days, oh, my honey's leaving now, oh, they just left. Because you're letting, I mean, if an enemy does find you or something, they might like have a regular profile picture and all this other stuff, and they might just like, you know, track that, and you know, people do crazy stuff. And then with military, I'm sure it's even more crazy, because you have people with some really high billion-dollar technology, and when you posting that kind of stuff, it could be bad. Yeah, that's just kind of like, it's to keep yourself safe. If you want to keep yourself safe, you don't want the enemy to attack. So that is what OPSEC is. And there's like a lot of other rules. Like there's a lot of stuff. It's not just that. It's not limited to just that. The NCIS, or yeah, the NCIS of the military is like in charge of it. I forgot what NCIS is. I'll put it right here if that's another term. But yeah, so yeah, that's that. Moving on. Number Number 27, a CHIT, C-H-I-T. Think of it like a time off request. So when you go to work, you submit a time off request if you want to get off of work. A CHIT is the same thing. Now CHITs are really different than regular time offs, because regular time offs, you'll have your answer within a few days, but with the military, they take a lot, because you have to go through this person and that person and that person and that person and this person and that person just to get your CHIT approved to leave. And this is because the military, when you join the military, you're signing a contract, and your contract says that you are at work every day and you're not taking off, you're not taking leave. Leave is basically after you get your CHIT approved, then you go on leave. Say that my time off got approved yesterday, my leave will start today. So that's what leave is. Leave is the time that they're gone, and when they come back to work. So yeah, that's that. Moving on. Number 28, DEARS. So DEARS stands for Defense, stay with me here, Defense Enrollment Eligibility Enrollment System. Now, I know I said the word enrollment twice, but there is a reason. Notice it's DEARS, D-E-E-R-S, Defense Enrollment Eligibility Enrollment. That's where the R comes from, enrollment system. So yeah, that's that. That is what DEARS is. So DEARS is a very important place. It is like a location that you have to go. Once you get married, if you want to get your military ID, that's where you go. If you want to be added to your husband's account so you can get your military ID, that's where you go. DEARS is where the veterans go to get their military IDs updated, or their veteran IDs updated. That's where you get your dependent IDs from. DEARS is where you go to, if you don't sign up for DEARS, you will not get insurance. So DEARS is a very important place. It is always very packed. I have a video on my process of getting married and having to go to DEARS 4 or 5 different times to get my military ID and spending about 20 hours total. So yeah, DEARS is serious. So DEARS is important. Most bases have DEARS, and they're usually in every city that has a military base, and in major cities too. So yeah, DEARS. Number 29, DOD, Department of Defense. That's all you really need to know. Number 30, MEPS. So MEPS is, I should have put this at the beginning, but MEPS is like where your husband will, or where your MILSO will go before they join the military. MEPS is like they basically see if everything's good with your hubby. You know, that's where your fitness test is done and all of that. And then once you join, you won't have to worry about MEPS anymore. It's basically like the recruitment center. Think of it like a recruitment center, but the part where they like examine you and make sure you're good for the military. That's MEPS. Moving on. Number 31, Master at Arms. So I just learned this one actually a few weeks ago when I was looking at a cop, and Andre was like, oh, that's the heck, y'all heard that? Y'all, I swear it's the people above us. They are so loud. That sounded like a gunshot. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Moving on. Sorry. But yeah, Master at Arms is like the police on the base. And yeah, so if you see a police car and you hear your husband say, oh, they're gonna get stopped by the Master at Arms if they don't slow down, Master at Arms is police, the po-pos. Okay, moving on. Actually, scratch that. I'm gonna add to number 31, colors. So you're gonna hear colors too. Colors is like where your husband will stand where he's at like 8 a.m. I don't know if it's the same everywhere you go, but colors is where you have to stop and stand for the anthem. And you know, you're on a military base, you have a whole bunch of people serving our country, so you know, they stop, they do their little thing where they like stand like that or something. And even if you're driving, people do stop. People stop, and the light will keep turning green until the whole song is done. So that is colors. And I added it to Master at Arms because they're both usually on base. I mean, colors happens on base, and then Master at Arms is like the police on base. So that's that. Moving on. Number 32, TRICARE. So guys, my throat's getting dry. Let me drink something. My throat is so dry right now. Okay, sorry about that. Number 32, TRICARE. So TRICARE is the military's version of healthcare. You go to a doctor's appointment, they ask you what kind of insurance you have, you say TRICARE. They might ask you, oh, what kind of TRICARE? You might have Humana, you might have Blue Cross, Blue Shield, it just depends. Also, to be eligible for TRICARE after you get married, if you are married while he's joining, you will have to be on his DEARS account. If you're not on his DEARS account, you will not get TRICARE. Don't try to fight the people on the phone at TRICARE to get insurance, and don't yell at them because they have no control over it. If you're not in the DEARS system, then they cannot help you. So there's that. So moving on. PCS. So this is a popular term. PCS is permanent change of station. So it's where, you know, you have to get up and move to another city, another state. When my husband PCS, he PCS in the same city, or not the same city, but up the street. When you hear someone say, oh, we're PCSing, or it's PCS season means that they are about to fill out like what they want for their orders. So orders is like your husband's orders to be in a certain place, like a certain command or a certain base. Let me say base. Base equals command, command equals base. Let me give you an example. This might help. Say you get PCS, which is, you know, permanent change of stations, from Norfolk to Houston. The one for Houston is going to say this sailor has to be in Houston from December 2020 to January 2024, and that is their orders. So much. I'm so sorry, guys. It is a lot, and if you are keeping up, shout out to you. If you're not, girl, start this video over. I promise it will help. It will help, I promise. So yeah, let's move on to number 34. Number 34, I combined two, but PFT and PTs. Personal fitness test comes a few times in the year, and it's where they have to run a certain amount of miles under a certain amount of time, and they have to do like a certain number of like sit-ups and push-ups. Don't quote me on that, but it's basically where they have to do a test to make sure they are still fit to be in the military, and they get scored on, like, you know, their physical fitness. You just have to make sure that you're good to be in the military. That's why they have physical training and all this other stuff. So yeah, number 35, TSP. Now we get into the hard stuff. So TSP stands for Thrift Savings Plan. Now, personally, I recommend that you push your hubby to, or your MILSO, to invest in the TSP while he can. Let me tell you why. They have a program where they match up to a certain amount. I am not sure the exact amount. If you are interested in the amount, comment below, and then I'll find out the exact number from my hubby. You can set the amount of money that the military takes out of your paycheck. But I would definitely say, when your husband or your boyfriend first starts, motivate him to put as much as possible. So I definitely recommend having him invest his money. If he gets his first paycheck and he's trying to pay for some Jordans, girl, let him pay for some Jordans. But after that check, be like, look, every check for the rest of the time you're in the military, let's go ahead and invest in TSP. Now, I understand some people have families and stuff, so that's completely understandable. But hey, sis, if you can put at least $100 in there every month, $50 every paycheck, definitely do it. So invest in TSP if you can. Number 36, SGLI. And that is another thing that is taken out of your husband's check. So like if you have family or a wife or kids, it also gets taken out of your paycheck if you have wife or kids. We got that done. So yeah, that's basically the insurance. So moving on. Wait, before I move on, SGLI is not the same as TRICARE. SGLI is like just a group life insurance. So if something happens to your husband while he's away, you are taken care of. And yeah, if something happens to him and he's disabled for the rest of his life, most likely SGLI will, like, you know, after you do your claims and all that, will take care of you. So that is SGLI. It's not the same as health insurance, TSP, okay? They're two separate things. Life insurance, SGLI, and then TSP, health insurance and all that stuff, dental, medical, all that. Medical, let's just call it medical. Oh, let me add medical onto that. Medical, you will sometimes hear your husband say, hey girl. I keep saying hey girl, like guys don't say that though, like, hey, I gotta go to medical. If he says he has to go to medical, it's basically like the doctor's office for the military. So yeah, if he ever says he has to go to medical because like he broke his foot or he has the flu, he's gonna go to medical. Sometimes medical can give them time off if they need it. And yeah, so that's that. Moving on. Number 37, 38, and 39 I'm gonna do together. Number 37, CO. CO stands for commanding officer, and then there's XO. They're like the two highest people on your boat. And then after that you have POs, which are petty officers. But petty officers, there are multiple kinds of petty officers, and like, yeah, there's multiple types of petty officers, but just know CO and XO are above everything, and then you have petty officers, and then you have like seamen. So that's how that works. So let me break it down for you. You still got your pen, girl? Okay. So military has 9 ranks for enlisted. You can be an E1, an E2, E3, E4, E5, E6, E7, E8, or E9. E1 is always going to be a seaman recruit. So if you're watching this and your MILSO is in boot camp right now, they are considered a recruit. Then E2 is a seaman apprentice. After E2, then you have E3, which is just a seaman. And then E4 is going to be 3rd class petty officer. So a 3rd class, if you hear someone say, oh, my husband's a 3rd class, that means their husband is an E4. Also, your pay is determined by which one you are. So I'll probably have a chart right here while I'm explaining all this. But yeah, E4 is petty officer 3rd class. Now I used to get these confused because I used to ask my husband, why is E4 3rd class when E3 has a 3 in it, you know? I don't know if I was the only one who ever thought like that, but that's that. Then you have E5, which is a 2nd class petty officer. You have E6, which is a 1st class petty officer. E7 is a chief petty officer. E8 is a senior chief petty officer. Now just think about it. Every time I go higher and higher and higher, I shouldn't be going like this. Every time I go higher and higher and higher, well, if the chart's right here, then I'll be going like this. Like those roles are more, I won't say more important, but they have more power, I guess. Yeah, more power. But yeah, and then the last one is E9, which is a master chief petty officer. So those are the enlisted ones, and then there are the O's. So the officers O1 through O9. Now I'm not familiar with those, and I'm not going to do those because most people in the military are enlisted. But hey, if you are an officer's wife or officer's MILSO or husband, I'll put the chart right here for you so you can see it. You can screenshot. This is the officer ranking. Okay, moving on. Number 41, mass. So if you get in trouble, where do you go? To jail, right? Well, in the military, if you do, well, to court. I'll say you go to court. But in the military or in the Navy, if you do something bad, you have to go to mass. Mass is like, it's like court. So say you got ticketed, or no, say you got a DUI. Like you got a DUI in the civilian world, like not on base, you're in the civilian world, you got stopped by a regular cop, you got a DUI. You will have to go to mass for that, for the military. So you get in trouble by the real world and you get in trouble by the military. You might get your driving privileges taken away for a certain amount of time. They might say, hey, you got this many strikes. Some people, depending on the severity of it, you get kicked out. Like, I feel like there's just a lot of different things for that. But yes, just know that mass is not something you want to hear your husband going to, or your wife if they're in mass. You need to talk to them and be like, what's really going on? Like, come on now, like seriously. So yeah, that is really all I have. That was like, here, let me look at them again. 40, that was like 45 terms minimum, because I was adding some stuff while I was talking. So yes, this was a really long video. I hope you took some great notes. I definitely recommend rewatching this if you need to. I apologize in advance if some of the explanations weren't really explanations and they were confusing, but hey, let me know in the comments, because I feel like I'm so accustomed to all of the words that I don't even think about it anymore, and I try to explain it as best as I can. But if there's anything you want me to expand on, if you have any questions whatsoever, go ahead and drop them in the comments, and make sure before you comment you are subscribed, because it would mean a lot to me. And so yeah, that's pretty much that, guys. I'm out of breath. I thought I was building this Christmas tree tonight, but that can wait. I'm gonna do that tomorrow morning. So yeah, wait, if I forgot any terms, let me know in the comments. I know I forgot a whole bunch because I was thinking of something and they kept leaving my head. But if you know you want to add anything that you feel like is important that new Navy wives and girlfriends know, put them in the comments and let me know. But yes, like I said, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see y'all in my next video. All right, Vlogmas Day 5, and I'm out. Bye guys.